So I don't know if you know, but Dr. Phil and I have a little bit of a history together. A recent history. It's not long in the past. It's just since June. And let me run you through it real quick before we talk about this interview, this absolute softball nonsense bullshit that Dr. Phil is trying to pass off on the American public as objectivity. Goon. So in February, the end of February, I did a video about an interview that David Pakman did with Dr. Phil. And in it, here's the thumbnail. I got my all laid out here. The title of the video was Dr. Phil Walks into Wood Chipper in Interview with David Pakman. The thumbnail, David Pakman exposes Dr. Phil in brilliant interview takedown. Because Dr. Phil said, I'm not a conservative. That makes about as much sense as a grasshopper on a field with the hot deer went in the pond beer. Just a moron. Trying to pass off his folksy charm to some, I guess, as just a guy who's looking out for America, who loves his country and his people, and he is a conservative. He has laid waste to the lives of people on his stupid talk show, abusing and exploiting people with addictions and family problems. He's one of the worst. Another gem brought to us by Oprah Winfrey. Well, he interviewed Donald Trump in the beginning of June. And on June 7th, I did a video, and this is what started the harassment of Dr. Phil trying to harm me here on YouTube, copyright striking and trying to take down videos that I put up, making commentary and critique of his interview with Donald Trump, which is absolutely within fair use of his content. So on June 7th, I posted this video. Dr. Phil lied to David Pakman, outs himself as a bootlicker. The title of that video, the link to which will be below if you'd like to go watch the whole saga, since he Streisand himself, is Dr. Phil exposes himself as Trump lover after telling David Pakman he's not conservative. Well, that night there was a claim on the video. They wanted it taken down. And here's the next title. We'll just go through these. Dr. Phil is trying to bully me into deleting my criticism of his weak Trump interview. And the thumbnail, Dr. Phil is trying to bully me to remove my video about him. And then on June 10th, just a couple of days later, the adjudication was done by YouTube, and they sided with me that absolutely I was well within my rights, not violating his copyright. And here's the title. YouTube made a decision about Dr. Phil's demand that my video about him be removed, and big news about Dr. Phil trying to have me canceled. And he's back, folks. Dr. Phil is back with another doozy interview with the former president of the United States of America. And it is weaker than it was before, talking to Donald Trump about the assassination attempt against him. Dr. Phil attempting with all of his might, with all of his intellectual ability to try to give Donald Trump a chance to be a decent, normal person. And it didn't work. I hate to break it to you. It did not work. In this first clip, I'm only going to play two. The entire thing is just bananas from bell to bell. And in this first clip, he asked Donald Trump, why were you spared, Mr. President? Why were you spared? As though Donald Trump is going to come up with some kind of a cogent, deep philosophical answer. Instead, what Donald Trump does is leans into Christianity and talks about God, and just, it's very confusing. It really does point to Donald Trump having no understanding of the culture that has embraced him, and that's evangelical white Christian nationalism. But it doesn't matter that he doesn't know anything about it. It doesn't matter that he doesn't adhere to it, that it's not a part of his life. They love him nonetheless. Watch Dr. Phil doing heavy lifting for Donald Trump.
How do you answer that? Why were you spared?
So there had to be some great power, because you just can't say millions to one. I used to say 1,000,000 to 1. It's much more than that, because again, you have to pull down the sign. There has to be a reason to go right, and I never go right. There's no reason. And not only go right, it's for about an eighth of a second. It's not just right. It's out of all the time that we're on this planet, it's 1/8 of a second, right? So I shouldn't be with you. So,
Is there a purpose?
well-
Was there a reason you think you were spared?
I mean, the only thing I can think is that God loves our country and he thinks we're going to bring our country back. He wants to bring it back. It's so bad right now what's happening. When you look at the crime, the horrible things that are happening inside our country, and it can be solved. It can be solved fairly quickly. It has to be God. I mean,
Has to be
how
the
can
hand
you
of
say
God.
it's luck when it's, 20 million to 1, okay? I mean, it's just not possible that I was in that position. It's the only position where that bullet could have missed.
And you believe in God.
I do.
You believe God's hand was in this that day?
I believe so, yeah, I do.
And you talk about the country. You believe you have more to do. You weren't done. You were spared for a reason.
Well, God believes that, I guess.
Well, God believes that. Tell me more about what God believes. Serial philanderer. Adjudicated sexual assaulter. Tell me more, Donald Trump, about what God believes. He thanks God thinks we're going to bring our country back. Wouldn't God know? Wouldn't God already know the predetermined outcome of the election, Donald Trump? And by the way, it doesn't mean God had a hand in your survival from the non-gunshot wound. It means coincidence. That, what you just described, is what is commonly referred to by reasonable people as a coincidence. These people. So we'll end with this clip. And this is Dr. Phil, again, just breaking his back, lifting heavy weights, carrying water for Donald Trump. And he asked this question, how has this changed you? And rather than just leave it at that and allow Donald Trump to flounder and try to come up with some kind of a reason of how it's changed him, he gives him all kinds of options to choose from to just repeat. Do you hug your kids tighter, Donald Trump? Donald Trump doesn't take any of those options. Instead, he wants to project bravery and strength rather than just say, yeah. Your life flashes before your eyes and you realize what is most important in your life is your loved ones and your connections to people. He doesn't do any of that. He doesn't do the easiest fucking thing possible. Instead, he warps it. Watch this.
Has this changed you? Has it changed your appreciation for life? Has it changed anything about you? Did you hug your kids extra hard? I mean, has it changed you?
A lot of people ask me, and a lot of people say, like, have you developed any fear of, doing this? Like, because look, being president is a dangerous job. It's much more dangerous than a race car driver or than anything. It's probably the most dangerous profession if you think about it. Just go up and down the list. So you have 46 and numerous left early or got hit. It's a very dangerous job. I never realized how dangerous, but I was at the border yesterday and they were a dangerous place. He allowed it. He and her allowed it to become dangerous. It's a very, very dangerous place. I was doing an interview and Secret Service said, sir, please, no more standing up. They don't want me to stand up. People, especially with the kind of weapons they have today, people have shots. And, but it's a great job. It's an interesting job. You can do so much good, but it's a dangerous job.
Yeah. He doesn't hug his kids tighter. He doesn't draw closer to his grandchildren. None of that. He wants to tell you that President of the United States, the most guarded and protected individual on planet Earth, is the most dangerous profession. It's not firefighters who brave burning buildings, who charge into danger. No. It's president. It's not cops. It's not military braving live fire in combat zones. No, no, no. It's President of the United States when Donald Trump is president. So by virtue of this, I guess he's saying Joe Biden is a very brave man for having the most dangerous profession. Is that what MAGA would have you believe? And then he drifts off into borderland talking about the dangerous. It doesn't make any sense because he is free associating. It's just topic to topic to topic, even when he's given a blueprint, a roadmap to a solid answer that might make him look human. But he's a psychopath. He is a sociopath. He cannot feel empathy or emotion for anyone else. It is all about him. He's a broken individual that MAGA world wants to be president of the United States once again. Anyway, we'll see if Dr. Phil tries to restrict this particular video. Bring it on, Dr. Phil. Hayseed puke. Anyway, what do you think? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a voicemail, 714-576-4054. You can comment below. That would be fantastic. Helps to trigger the algorithm to share this video. I'd love a lot of people to see this video. That's how you can do it. You can also just share. Just take that into your own hands and share this video. I'm sure Dr. Phil would be very, very happy about that outcome. Follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore everywhere. If you share this video, tag me in it. I'll hit the retweet or the share button if it's on Threads or TikTok or not TikTok, Twitter. I would appreciate it. If you want to help support this work, help me battle against the Dr. Phils and the Donald Trumps of the world, click the join button below, become a channel member for $2 a month, or even better, go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast and help support there. I love and appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. You too, Dr. Phil. Be genuine, if it's possible for you, brother. And take care of one another.